Hello YouTube, this is the Narabin. Today I want to respond, even though YouTube won't let me, to a video by Samoldji. And in this video he talked about immersion. And he defined immersion as a situation where you forget everything else but the current aspect of the game. For example, he said he could be immersed in the mechanical aspects because he thinks at certain points in time in the framework of the rule system and forgets everything but this. For me personally, this is really too broad a definition. But I am not one who likes rules of any kind in gaming. I use them, but more out of necessity than anything else. I don't like using them. But his definition has the great advantage that it is an easy and working definition. So why not use it? Maybe you need to define some subcategories of immersion to talk to create a lingo of immersion or something. For me, immersion is a point in a setting and in a game where the reaction to the gaming stimuli becomes more of a reflexive action than thought about, something you think about. So, for example, when you've been playing a long time in a certain setting and the GM tells you the name, or you rather read the name of someone in a letter, and by reading that name you can guess from where this person comes, because you've heard so many names from people from that region, and all their names have a certain sound or melody to them, and this fits that melody, and you don't think about it, but it's just a fact, you know? Just the way you would in the real world. When you hear an Asian name, usually you can point it right there. You are probably not really knowledgeable whether it's Chinese, Vietnamese, or a Japanese, even though with a bit of if you have heard enough of those names, you can guess too, even though you don't speak any of those languages. Another thing, and this is obviously a purely for yourself, or singular immersion, and then there's for me group immersion, when you without talking to each prior to the fact, and the GM starts to describe a scene, and you picturing this scene in your head, and you add little details as you do, and you begin using these aspects that are basically insignificant, um, and the others don't raise an eyebrow because they have something very similar to in their head to you, and so the gaming world doesn't become contradictory. It starts to feel more natural. You just play balls to each other that you can grab from the air, and maybe you throw another one in and someone else grabs it with ease, you know? Of course, the balls thing is just figuratively, not literally. Um, yeah. So, also, immersion has to do with the ease with which you can take on the part you're playing, whether it's a GM or as a player. I had once a campaign I played as a player lasting 5 or 6 years, and it became very easy to take on that character. When I met people from that group, we would occasionally just as entertainment slip into those roles without really thinking much about it and begin to converse in those roles about usual day-to-day stuff, or maybe about other people in that group, like you would talk to with friends, family, and so on. And it's not so much that you need to take a break from everything, get a certain song in your head so you are that character, and not think about what is his mental state and so on. It's just there with one flip of your fingers, or rather one simple switch in your mind. So I would rather say it's, yeah, for me it's purely the mental image thing, the ease of taking on the character, the the way the group shapes the same fantasy world. And fantasy is of course broadly here, could be sci-fi or anything. So yeah, that's how I have experienced immersion. And as I said, my experience doesn't really lend itself well to a definition of immersion, but I have not found, or rather I have not yet experienced it in any way else than what I told you. Yeah, so if you have anything to say, you can post comments below and so on. I will link the original video by Samoldji down below and at the end of the video. Yeah, so thank you for watching, and have a good day.